Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to this new session of Encuentro Creativo. Before we start, we wait just a few minutes to all participants to join. I see there is already a lot of you over here. Good afternoon for you in Mexico. Here in Italy, we are connected from Italy. It's 9 p.m. So it's evening for us. So welcome everyone. My name is Giulia. I am one of the admission advisors of Accademia Italiana, which I will talk a little bit afterwards who we are, and I will soon introduce also the teacher here. But first of all, I would like to remind you that this webinar is recorded, and we will be sharing the participation link for the certificate, but you already know this. So I just take a few minutes to wait for other participants to join. So then we go on with a little video, and then we start our today's webinar with a very exciting class. But I won't spoil everything right now. So let's wait a few minutes more. Please also be reminded that you always can ask us questions during the Q&A session at the end of the lesson, at the end of the webinar. And so welcome to the others joining. I also remind you that we are also offering a full scholarship for a summer course in photography for those who meet the eligibility criteria of this Encuentro Creativo organization. Welcome, everyone. Okay, here we are again. So let me officially open this webinar on behalf of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mexico. I warmly welcome you to this webinar, part of the 5th edition of Encuentro Creativo, a project by the Italian Chamber supported by the Embassy of Italy in Mexico. The goal of Encuentro Creativo is to promote Italian academic opportunities in Mexico, connecting students and professionals with Italian education institutions and training programs. It is an honor to give you a warm welcome to this webinar titled From Sketch to Sparkle, 3D Jewelry with Rhinoceros. Today, we are privileged to have the participation of Cadia Romano, representing Accademia Italiana. Accademia Italiana was founded in 1984 and is one of the Europe's most renewed institutes of design and applied arts. With a forward-looking vision, it has established itself as a leading institution in the artistic, professional, and linguistic education. Its academic programs stand out for combining historical tradition and the rapid evolution of the new technologies, integrating both past and future in its educational approach. Okay, now let me introduce you our speaker. I would like to share a brief biography of Claudia Romano. She's a jewelry designer and a 3D modeler, specializing in digital jewelry design. With a background in traditional craftsmanship and experience in collaborating with international maisons such as Bulgari, she combines creativity and technology to bring unique pieces to life. Passionate about innovation, Claudia uses Rhinoceros and advanced rendering tools to teach how a piece of jewel can evolve from a simple sketch into a brilliant 3D creation. She also works on cultural heritage projects, including the reproduction of crowns and historical ornaments. So I leave the floor now to Claudia. Please, you can start your wonderful session.
Thanks a lot, Julia. Hi, everyone. As Julia said, I'm Claudia Romano, but my nickname, because all my friends and family call me Cadia. I am the coordinator of jewelry department of Accademia Italiana in Rome for the bachelor and for the master in contemporary jewels and traditional jewelry design. Today, I will show you some elements about the technology that we can use in jewelry. It means 3D modeling and also rendering. For this session, I will create a engagement ring in white gold and ruby. You will see the entire process, and then you will receive a file that you can use during the part of the rendering, because you can work with me with a software that is completely free for a student. It's called iJewels 3D, and together we can change the color, try to move the object, define what gemstone could be used for this ring. So first of all, I will share my screen so you can see my presentation.
Yes.
So usually we can think that technology could be a danger for our traditional technique. You know that a lot of people also with the artificial intelligence could think that the artificial intelligence will steal some jobs, but to be honest, it's not so true, because if you cannot train in the right way the artificial intelligence, and if you don't have a good experience in 3D model in jewelry, you cannot use in 3D modeling. If you don't understand how you can make the space for a gemstone, the thickness that you have to use for your customer needs, you cannot continue to use technologies, because could be problematic. We can split the technologies for jewelry into different fields. The first one, it's the CAD. It means that we can decide with the help of the computer, and here we have some software for 3D modeling, Today I will use a software called Rhinoceros. It's very famous because it's very helpful in whole of segment of the design. It means that you know that the design is a huge field. You can find yacht design, fashion design, interior design, jewelry design, and all of these segment could use Rhino because it's when you understand the logic behind all the tools, you can use easily in each part of your project. And then for sure we have also the CAM. It means that we could use the manufacturing part in jewelry field with the help of the technology, in this case 3D printing with castable resin that can be considered like a substitution of the technique of lost works. I don't know if anyone has some experience about jewelry. If you, as Julia said, if you have some question, doubt, don't worry, raise your hand or write some message. We will answer to all the questions that I will receive. So why we start to use 3D modeling software in our field? I told you that if you don't have enough experience about jewelry, maybe not maybe for sure will be a big problem to use 3D modeling, because you can use all the tools that you want, but you will arrive at one point that maybe you cannot understand if a project could be printable, or maybe if it could be wearable, if there is enough metal to gem set a stone, and so on. With the technologies, we can reduce also the material that we need to use for the customer needs, because as you can see, like in this Tiffany example, we can have the same product with maybe same gemstone with different color, metal color, or maybe we can change color gemstone. It means that before to arrive to the final product, we can show to our client a lot of different options. In this case, we don't have to produce a lot of objects, but we can produce only the project that our customer decide. So with the 3D technologies and the rendering, we can understand the weight of our project. You can know the final price, especially now that the price of gold is too high. Maybe understood the price before the production could be very, very helpful, and also the number of gemstones that you have to use, the dimension, the final dimension that you have to develop on your project. So all the simulation that you could do on this software can help you to reduce your time during the process, and for sure to save money for you and also for the final client. The most common 3D modeling software are Rhino, as I said you before, Blender, that maybe someone knows because this year a film made with Blender, an animation film, was won an Oscar. And then we can find a lot of different tools also on iPad. If you want to specialize in sculptural part, maybe you can use Nomad, or maybe ZBrush. If you are working in automotive or maybe aerospace product, you can use Cadia, Fusion, and so on. And at the same time, we have a lot of options for the renderings. In this case, you can see some experiment that I did in iJewels 3D, but the design field, we can find different software like Keyshot that is very, very useful for automotive, for interior design. Then we have 3D Max, Lumion, Light Tracer, and so on. Today, we will start with this simple exercise. I will show you how we can start from simple lines to obtain a final project like this one. So let's start. And now you can see my screen for the 3D model project. And as you can see, I have a grid, and this is my final project. So first of all, if we need to create a product like this, the first thing that we need to know is the finger size of our client. And the second info that we need to have is about the gemstone, because if in your jewels you have some gemstone, for sure you need to know all the dimension. Why? Because I need to set in the right way on the bezel, or maybe I need to develop different kind of prongs, or maybe I have to put together different gemstone. For this, I need to set the space between this gemstone to protect them, and and don't allow that some gemstone could be damaged from metal, or maybe external action, and so on. So as you can see, it's a simple engagement ring. I create this intersection in the middle like an endless ring, and in the middle we have a bezel with the 4 different prongs and the gemstone. So I can start with the project, and first of all, we need to create the finger size. To do this, I prefer to change the view of my 3D modeling software because from the project that the view that you have to use depends from the project that you have to develop. It's like you are looking for something in a jewelry shop. For sure, if you have to see a pendant, you will see from the top. If you are finding a ring, maybe you will see from the front, because in this case you have to understand if the dimension is correct or not. So the first step will be to open the front view and create our finger size. For this step, I will use a simple circle, because you know that the ring has this shape. So I will use my shape, my size, so 16.2, more or less is a medium size for a ring, and you can see that this is my size. Then I've told you that we need to know the dimension of the gemstone, because we need to create the intersection for the endless part, and we need to understand the space that we have to work on it. So if I change again on my top view, you can see that we can say the gemstone, and here it seems a simple line, instead is our circle. So now we can understand, we can know that in the middle of the ring we have the gemstone, and now we need to create our the first arc of our project. To do this, we have here on the left part, you can see that we have a lot of different tools. For each action, I can choose different tools. For sure, with Rhino, I could have the same product made by different processes. The important thing is that you can decide what kind of process you want to use in Rhino. Maybe for from my point of view, I try to simplify the process, because in this case I can reduce the time and obtain a lot of product in one day, for example. But this doesn't mean that my idea about the jewelry process is the best. It's only my idea. And when we work with the student, I try to explain all the step and why I decide to do one step instead of another one, because I want to show also my logic and the logic behind the jewelry process. Doesn't mean that, as I told you, it's the best process, it's mine. And I work so fast with this kind of process. So at the end, we have the line, we have the gemstone. I told you that we have to create an arc here. So here we can find a command called arc, this one. So okay, I create something that could be I create something that is bigger than my gemstone, okay. But as you can see now, it's completely flat. I need to recreate the same shape on my curve. First of all, we don't need only the arc, but we need to create a movement. So we can define how we can create the shank of our object. And to do this, we need to create another line, maybe something like this. It's like my geometrical reference, because in Rhino, I love to use different reference to be sure that my object can respect all the dimension and the position that I want. So I can create a copy with the mirror command. And now I need to connect these two lines. We have two different layers. For now, it's important that these two parts are on the same level. So maybe I can change my view. I can go to the front view, and I can move with this helper that is called Gumball to the red line. In this case, the intersection of these two lines are called point zero, and the green line and the red line are called axis. It's like the x-axis and the y. So I can move more or less here. For now, it's not important the position. I need to have on the same layer, but I cannot be so accurate, because then I will work again on my line. And as I told you before, we need to create a connection between this line and the other reference that I did. And in Rhino, we have a lot of options that we can use, for example, fillet line, or maybe blend arc and so on. So I can select something. And as you can see, Rhino gives me some option. If I don't like, I can modify in some way, so on. I can use also another command that you can find always here, that is a fillet curve. So I can create something like this and create, oh, sorry. Okay, and as you can see, we have the same we have another kind of connection between the first line and the second line. So also in this case, you can modify as you want, and you can decide one of these two could be the best for your project. When we define the connection, in this case, again, I need to create a copy, and we have a command here that is called mirror, in Italian copia speculare, okay? And more or less we have this line. If I click on my line, we have 3 different lines. So I have to select everything and I have to click here, join. Now, if I click, you can see that we have only one line. Maybe if you don't like this curve, if you want to modify something, we can see that on the curve you have a lot of control point, all of these points. If I try to move, you can see that I can create another kind of line, or maybe I can decide to increase the number of control points on my line. And to do this, we can use a command called rebuild curve. As you can see, we have this window that give us a lot of information, because we know now that the original line has 25 points, and here you can define, you can decide if you want to increase the number or maybe decrease. In my case, I want to simplify, and as you can see, when I reduce the number, I will modify also the shape of my line. Okay, maybe 15 could be okay. I click OK, and I have something like this. Again, if I don't like something, I can click here or here, and I can reduce as I want. And I can continue until I can find the perfect shape that I like. After this, we have to recreate the same shape on these finger sides. To do this, I can create an extrusion starting from my finger sides. So here we have the option that extrude straight. Okay, it's like a pipe, no? And we can recreate the same command, the same line with this command that in English is project curve. Okay, and as you can see now, I can delete this part because I don't need. Okay, and as you can see now, we have the first part of our ring. Okay, so now it's not important to have the part in both sides. We can cut off the part that we don't need, and we can start to work with our control point, because in the first model that I'll show you, that I showed you, you can see that we have a intersection between these two shapes, but we have also 2 different planes. So I have to rotate a little bit the lines that I'm using now. So first of all, I can delete, or maybe I can hide this part, because for now we don't need it. So okay, and then we can cut off this part, because we need only the part on the top and not on the bottom. To do this, maybe we can create a surface, and we can cut off the part, the part that we don't need. So I can use line from midpoint. Our midpoint is always 0, because we are on the intersection of these 2 axes. So we have a line that you can see now. As for the finger sides, that is a circle, and we create the extrusion. Also in this case, we can extrude a surface. Okay. In this case, we need to decide the direction of our extrusion. And here on the top, you can see that we have the option direction. So you decide that this is the direction. Now, you can see that we have an intersection between our plane and our line. And we have an option that could help us to cut the part. The command is called trim. I can define the cutting object that is the line, the plane, and now I can remove the part. I can check if everything is okay or not. Okay, perfect. Okay. So we say that finally we have the first part. Now, as you can see in the first object here, we have an intersection of these two parts that basically are the same object, but we used the mirror command and work in different way on the left and the right on the control point. So as you can see, we have a lot of control point. Maybe it could be more complex to more complicated to modify this structure. So we have to simplify and we have to reduce the number of control point. In this case, I can use again the rebuild curve. As you can see, now on my line, we can find 103 control point, too much. And we have a suggestion that is 15, that it's okay. Now with the 15 control point, you can see that we can work easily. And maybe I can start to move something like this, for example. But before to do this, we have to create a copy of this part. And again, we need to use the mirror. And at the same time, we have here in the bottom of our interface, we can find some option. One of these is called the record history or history. In Italian is registra storia. That in this case will help us to modify at the same time these two parts on the left and on the right. So for now, I want to modify this one. And I create this. As you can see, when I try to move a control point of this line, also the copy will be modified. So I want to move this one, or maybe create something like this. We can say that we can play a lot with the control point until we can reach the result that we want. So now you could say that we have a different position of my line, but it's not like the first example that I showed you. It means that in this case, I have to use mirror twice on the same time because I need to create a copy, but a mirrored copy. So again, in this case, when I complete and I like the line that I did, I have to use again mirror. Okay, maybe I can delete this one. As you can see, we start to have an intersection of these two lines, and we have the line in different position, and it works. So now we have the first structure, and we need to create the real object, because we start from the line, but then we need to create surfaces, solid, to give us this final volume of our object. And we can start, for example, we can create a geometrical section shape. Rhino can give us some option. Here you can find that we have the circle, oval, square shape, rectangular shape, and different polygon that you can use for this part. Maybe we can use a circle. If I click near the command, you can see that we have like a sublayer that can give us a lot of different options to make a circle. Maybe in this case, we can use a circle starting from diameter. Okay. Okay, more or less we have this one. But now I need the same circle also here. So again, mirror. Okay. Now we have our line and two circle. In this case, we can use in Rhino a command called sweep one rail, where the rail is the line and the section shape will be these two lines. In this case, we can create a surface starting from these two lines and our rail, and we can understand if we like or not. And also in this case, I prefer to click on record history. Why? Because if I want to modify something, I can do in real time with record history. So I don't have to come back and redo the command, but after making the surface, I can move something and I can modify directly the surface. So here we have the option for the surfaces. And as you can see, here we have this option with this little number that is called sweep one rail. So I select the rail that, as I told you, is the line that we did before, and then first section shape, second section shape. Enter. Rhino will give us some option, and we try to create something like this. Okay. If I like it, I need to click OK, and everything is OK. If at the end of this process, maybe I don't like this shape, this curve, or maybe I don't like the dimension, or maybe if I don't like the shape that I choose, I can modify. And as you can see, we can modify also the shape and the surface. Okay, maybe I want to move, I want to create closer this object. Okay, maybe I could modify a control point, something like this. When I work on the control point, as you can see, all my surfaces start to change. Okay, so now maybe if you want, we can increase the diameter of our circle. So now we can say that I like it, this part. I can continue to create my object, and you know that we have to create the same surface in the other side. So I can select this part, and again, as you know, we can use the mirror. As you can see, I used a lot the mirror tool, because usually if you work in a symmetrical way, you need to work on the zero. It means that all the objects that you will do will be the same on the left and the right. So in this case, if you work on the zero, you can create only half project, and then you can replicate in a mirrored way if you need on the other side. In this case, you can be completely sure that your project is perfect on the left and right, and also you will reduce the time that you have to use to complete your project, because if you have to create an entire ring, maybe you will spend 1 hour. Instead, if you have to complete a half ring, you will spend half hour, and for this you can be you can produce a lot of different objects. So I select the surface that I want to replicate, and I use mirror again. Okay, but we had the same problem that we had before, because we have the intersection in the wrong way. Again, it means that I have to, in this case, I have to use twice mirror on the same piece. So again, mirror. Okay, now I can delete this part. Oh. Okay, and we have the first part. For sure, if we compare with the first ring, the shape is different, because you can decide to modify the object as you want. We can decide to modify also the line that we use for the sweep one rail. Maybe in our case, if we analyze this part, we have a lot of space on the top and the bottom. If you don't like it, we can move the line, the control point of the line that we use, for example, this one. And try to move the object as you want. So Rhino gives us a lot of option to express our creativity and our ideas. So we have the first structure. Now we need to create the final part of the ring, and then we need to create our basin with prongs. To complete the ring, we need to use the same command that we use for the top. So sweep one rail, and in this case, again, we have to sweep one rail, where our rail will be the circle and finger size, and this one, and oh, sorry, I completely forgot to use the same sweep. Okay. Mirror again, because I need all the reds. Okay. And sweep one rail again, first one. Okay, first part of the ring, again, mirror. You can use sweep one rail again, or maybe we can use mirror, and we complete the ring. Okay. And now, when we have the complete structure of the ring, we can create a new layer, and we can change the color, maybe, so you can recognize the ring easily. Okay, we have the ring. Now we need to create our basil. And on the top view, you could see the diameter of our gemstone, and also with a simple command circle starting from diameter, we can create, okay, the first line. Usually we need to reduce a little bit of the dimension of the diameter because we need to emphasize the color, the brilliance of the gemstone from the top. We cannot see, we shouldn't see the metal around the gemstone. So for this, we have to reduce a little bit the diameter of the gemstone. And now you can see that the new diameter, it's smaller than the gemstone, and we can start to create the basil. In this case, we can extrude, but in this case, we can create an extrusion straight or maybe an extrusion tapered. You can decide. It's solid. Yeah. Right here. I need to create the hole in the middle. Okay. Again, extrusion. I need to create the hole because I need to collect all the light that I can on my gemstone. I need to, okay, and I can create the perfect seat for my gemstone. It means that I can use another command to reduce my inner part. So yeah. Okay, now we have the first part of the basil. As you can see, I create a structure that is bigger than my ring, and as you can see, we have the body that is in the middle of the finger sides. It's not a problem because we will use the finger sides like our cutting object, and we'll modify the structure. Okay, and the last part is to make the perfect position for the gemstone, and now we can create a bronze with a simple line. Okay, and now we have to extend because we need that the prongs arrive here near the edge of the gemstone, and so okay, maybe something like this. Okay, and finally we can use a command called pipe. I decide that the dimension of my prongs will be 0.9, so smaller than 1 millimeter. But you have to think that we have to create 4 different prongs. It means that it will be strong enough to gem set the stone. Okay. Okay, perfect. Then maybe we can decide if you want to create a rounded corner or not, maybe something like this. Okay. Okay, now finally we have our prongs. the first one. And as you know, I love a lot mirror. So again, I will use mirror also in this case. Okay, so mirror, 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 and we can complete our project, and we can start to make the rendering of our ring. So in this case, we can create copy and paste. Okay. If I want to be more accurate, I need to create a rotation of 45. Okay. And we complete our project. Now, as I told you before, maybe if you don't like this space because it's too much, maybe you can reduce starting from the control point. You can modify the structure of the basil. You can split in 3 different parts, because maybe we can create here in the middle a gallery, because in this case the light came through the gemstone, and we have a good reflection. So we can modify the ring as you want, and we can continue to experiment on this model. But now I want to show you that in Rhino we have the option, an option about rendering, and we can find here some part that you have to add some material, and we can create something. For example, in this case, I want to use metal. Maybe with the color I can choose between aluminium, brass, bronze, chrome, copper, gold, yellow gold, platinum, silver, and so on. Maybe gold. Okay. And for the basil, we can find again, I don't know, metal again. In this case, I want to use the silver one, or maybe the platinum. Okay. And for the gemstone, okay, we have the option that is precious gemstone, and we have ruby. Okay, so if I change the visualization, here we have ray tracing and rendering. With the ray tracing, you can see that I changed something. The gemstone in this case, it's too too dark. I can modify the color and try to obtain a different option, but I have to set also the light. Okay. I have to set the light to obtain a good result on the gemstone. If I use the rendering, you can see that we have a similar option. But instead, if we want to use the same file or on a different software, that in this case is called hijewels3d.com, that you can use because it has a lot of free feature for students. If you go on this website, hijewels3d.com, on the product, you can find High Jewels Playground. You will have this kind of interface. Here you can drag and drop your 3D file. In our case, we have the file that Veronica posts on our chat webinar. You can use this file, and you can drag here. When you open the file that Veronica gave you, okay, you can see that this is our result. Okay, you will have the same product, white gold and ruby, but you can change completely the color if you want. You have to click on the material and you have some option. Now I have a complete license, so I have a lot of different material and metal, but you have 5 or 6 different color that you can use. For example, I don't know, yellow gold. I want to change the gemstone and I want to create with the sapphire, or maybe black diamond if I want, or maybe again I can use the diamond and change again the color with the pink gold. Maybe I can create a basil with the white gold and the structure of the ring in pink gold, or maybe I can continue to modify and create the ring with the same color. So in this case, and with this software, for sure you can change also the environment. We can define if you want more light, or maybe if you want to use a background, maybe I can use something like this. We have also the option to create a short animation for our social network, or maybe a simple video that you can show to your client, because in this case we could have a complete rotation. We have also the option to create a short video with the different camera views, so you can show all the detail of your project. You can take some a screenshot of our object, as you can see, and you can understand if the project could work or not, if your idea about the chromatic contrast could work, if maybe in your idea the ring, the engagement ring was in the yellow, gold and diamond, but maybe it's too cold because if we use this one, maybe has a different effect from the warm pink, gold and diamond. So with the rendering, not only with the 3D modeling, but also with the rendering, you can understand if your project could work or not, if you have to modify something, if and for sure if your client is satisfied from your work or not, or if he wants or she wants to change something. Now I complete my presentation. I saw that there are some questions on our chat webinar.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Claudia, for your enlightening presentation. Yes, do you want to answer? Maybe we can start with Gilda.
Yeah. First of all, thanks a lot for this question.
Yes, Gilda is asking, any tips to get started in the world of jewelry design?
To be honest, there are a lot of tips. Maybe the first one is to start to sketch, because the sketch is the most important things that you can use for understand the volume, the color of your design, and also is a starting point for your client. So the sketch, when you can understand how you can sketch your ideas, the 19% of the work is done. So I prefer to sketch in digital way, handmade, hand drawing, as you want. The important thing is to understand the real idea, because sometimes we have an idea, but when we try to create in 3D modeling or during the sketch, the idea could change completely. So we need to understand if there is a connection between our idea and the sketch that we did, or maybe if I cannot replicate my idea and why. So the sketch is my always my starting point for everything. We cannot hear you, Julia.
Excuse me. Valeria Gonzalez is asking, how can AI help us optimize our process when sketching and rendering? Do you recommend any AI program?
To be honest, I received this question many times. I don't like artificial intelligence, but I use it for sure. Midjourney, Qt, Leonardo, all the generative artificial intelligence can help you. It's important to write a wrong prompt, a right prompt, because if you write a wrong prompt, you cannot obtain a good result. If you try to write, I want a ring in yellow gold with a diamond, the artificial intelligence will find all the information that can on internet, and you will have a simple engagement ring in yellow, gold, and diamond. If you had a lot of detail, I want this engagement ring, the shrink must be in this way, the decoration in this. So it means that you have a clear idea about your project. Could be interesting to work with the AI. Usually, the AI for me is like a brainstorming. So I have some idea. I try to write different prompts to understand what kind of result I could obtain. After this, I can select 2 or 3 images, and then I can start with the hand sketching to understand, try to modify the first idea. So maybe with the AI, I can reduce the time that usually I use for my brainstorming, and then start with all the steps that I prefer to use during the jewelry process.
Thank you. Someone else is asking, can we use this file in Blender?
The file that Veronica sent you in chat, no, you cannot use it because it's a file that has not the geometry, but all the information about the environment, the material, and the gemstone. If you want to use on this iJewels background, you can. Otherwise, you need to use in Blender a STL file.
Okay, thank you. Ale Avila is asking, do you believe that software and technology can sometimes restrict the creativity design process? How do you adapt to these challenges?
No, to be honest, I don't think that the technology can restrict the creative design. I think that can improve the creative design process, because if you reduce the time about the brainstorming, about to collect a lot of infos to create something, then you have a lot of you can use all the time to experiment on your 3D object, your physical object, because it's not only about the 3D modeling. Basically, I'm a goldsmith, so I work at the bench with the physical gold, the physical silver. So also at the bench, I need to understand the volume of the project, if a ring could work on a finger, if the gemstone is well setted. So if I can recreate something in a digital way, in a virtual world, maybe I could reduce the time that I need to work on my prototype. If I reduce the prototyping process, because I don't have to spend money, I don't have to work all night long, because sometimes happen that you have to work all day, all night long. I have more time that I can spend about what kind of material I can use. Maybe I can experiment biomaterial. Yes, how I can do it, because all the boring part are made by the digital and technology world.
Okay, great. Good questions and good answer.
Yes, I think that this kind of a question could be like a mirror of a reflection of our society now in 2025, because as I told before, as I said before, now we have a lot of technology. Sometimes a lot of people could be scared by technology because they can think that maybe technology can destroy some jobs, or maybe they can steal something or something like this. But I think that I don't think. I think
It's more an opportunity.
Yeah, because if there isn't a human mind behind this technology, the technology can't go on, because if we use 3D printing, okay, you have to set the 3D printer, but the 3D printer cannot know not all the models, but for example, the 3D printer cannot know if the resin is in the tank or not. The 3D printer start because you play the button play on the screen and start. It's not its problem if the project is correct or not. If there is a problem with our fashion student, we try to print on textile, on fabric, tulle fabric, and we have a print mill that doesn't have a sensor that can understand if the fabric is on the hotbed or not. So the project starts, and then there is we need a student, a lot of different people that can check if the fabric is in the perfect position. So with the technology, maybe we can reduce some steps, some time about the process, prototyping, and so on. But we need always to work with a group of human mind that can help the project and that can solve some problem that the 3D modeling technology cannot solve.
Someone else is asking, how many time of practice do people usually need to have a good skill with 3D modeling?
Good question, but I haven't an answer, because it depends from the student, the designer. There are a lot of people that in 10 years cannot use the 3D modeling software in the properly way. There are a lot of people that also my student, that in 6 months became a genius of 3D modeling. So it depends. the only suggestion that I can give you, it's about the passion, because if you work with your passion, you will try again, until you will find what do you want to reach. So it's not only about how many hours, but about the passion that you have for jewels or for 3D modeling, or if you don't have.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Another question. Emiliano is asking more a question about a trend. Is more intricate kind of jewelry making going to come back, or are we going to see more minimalist works like we have been in the last years?
To be honest, I think both, because it depends from the different trends that they change every year, and also maybe could depends from different material. Massive production, the different idea that brands and the fashion stylist designer could have. I know that now we start to have a different idea about the jewels, because now in the past, the first idea about the jewels was gold and precious gemstone. Now we have not a wonderful situation with the price of gold. It's so crazy. And all the brands, not the famous one, I'm not talking about Van Cleef, no, but I'm talking about medium business or small business, start to understand that they have to modify their structure. So jewels is not only made by gold and gemstone, maybe could be made by aluminium, anodized aluminium, titanium, maybe bioceramic, bio-leather. We don't know. But the important thing that the trend could all the trends born because you have needs, and maybe also because you have an opportunity. So we need to see what will happen with the gold and the other precious material, and how all the company will modify their structure. I think that maybe they can continue with the a minimalist jewelry, but with a little idea from the heritage from the past, because they want to remember that the idea of the jewels is always so so important for to show, no? Maybe sometimes the minimalist jewels is not too thin, but it's so teeny. Instead, with the different kind of volume, you could recognize easily a brand, a style, and so on. But we need to see what will happen, what will change in the goldsmith world.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see how jewels will look like in the future, actually.
Yeah, we need to know if we will be a survivor, or maybe we need to change completely our idea about the jewels. Also because we need to understand that the earth, it's not unlimited. And if we work only with the precious metal, doesn't mean that we can mine we can mine all over the world. We can destroy it, all the, I don't know, cities, nature, and so on. At the end, all the gemstone and all the metal will finish it. So we cannot continue with this idea about that you have to use a lot of precious metal for your jewelry.
Yeah, true, true. Okay. Uh, we have another question. Thomas is asking. He is working, I think, in the field of accessories design, and he says he's not very skilled with Rhino, and is asking, is it really essential to master it for the industry?
To be honest, yes. And um, mm, now all the companies, brand um, asked about the Rhino, or not Rhino, but 3D modeling. If you can see all the job posts on LinkedIn about design, jewelry design, all the descriptions say always the same. You need to be skilled in the hand sketch it and maybe Illustrator if you want to design, if you want to create your design in digital way. And then last but not least, they require always to use a 3D modeling software. Sometimes they want to use Rhino because it's the best in my point of view, but they all the company describe a lot of different software like Matrix Gold, Blender, ZBrush if they have some sculptural style, Nomad, but the 3D modeling is always requested from the company because it's very, very interesting, especially for the massive production. Because if you have a 3D model, then you can translate in a file that could be used on a different kind of machine, like 3D printer, okay, but then we have CNC, laser cut. So if you have an idea and you can transform this idea in a 3D model with a software, a 3D modeling software, you can obtain a lot of different files that you can use for a lot of different machines. It means that you can produce a collection in one click. Behind this click, there is always a person, but you can do it. So if someone asks you about portfolio 3D modeling, it means that they require, it's very important, this step. So it's better to start maybe a 3D modeling course or understand if maybe this study path could be the best solution for you, because in this case maybe you have to do also you have to compare if your idea is perfect for yourself. Now I'm talking in general. I don't know if you like 3D modeling, the meta world, digitally, digital sketching, and so on. I don't know. It's um, an argument that we can describe in different way. But for now, starting from the COVID, the idea about the jewels is changed completely. In the past, a lot of people use Illustrator or Photoshop to create jewelry design. During the COVID, I saw, but I think that you know better than me, that on the social media, TikTok, Instagram, Discord, you found a lot of different people that start to use French specific technique of hand drawing called gouache. It means that you can use the watercolor and create wonderful jewelry design that required a lot of days or maybe hours to create. And now all the high jewelry company needs washer people that can use this technique, because you could have a real idea about the jewelry that you have to do. Then when you have a perfect sketch, because the sketch, as I told at the beginning of the lesson, is the starting point. If you have a perfect sketch, then you can transform in a physical object at the bench, or maybe a digital object in 3D modeling, but you have all the details, the number of gemstone, the color. You can understand with a perfect sketch the chromatic contrast, what kind of metal I have to use it. So we reduce a lot the process about the prototyping. And at the end, your project will be the same that you hand sketch. So starting from the COVID area, we have a lot of different options about the jewelry field, starting from 3D modeling and sketching, gouache, 3D printer specialist, rendering, because there are a lot of people that work in jewelry field that they create only in picture, video, with wonderful rendering, and on social media you can find a lot of those one. Rotation video, turnable table, explosion, gemstone, all of this video have a different project that it's not real, but you have the idea that it's a real object that you can touch, you can take. So a lot of option for sure, but the technology and the 3D world could be very, very, very helpful, because there are a lot of job posts about this this part. So I don't know. I hope that this answer could help you to understand if you want to continue in on a 3D world or not.
Thank you, Claudia. I think we have one last question. What about the use of biomaterials in jewelry?
Gabriela, the best question, because I love it. I love biomaterial. I work with biomaterial, and also in Accademia Italiana we did some experiment with biomaterial, starting from wasted food. We try to understand if we can create something for our jewels. I love this argument because I create jewels made by biomaterial, and the biomaterial was made by human blood, sorry, human blood. In this case, I use my blood because it was a contemporary jewels project. I want to show how the pressure, so the mental illness, could destroy a human body. For this, I'm starting from a part of human body, so the blood, and create this material that went damaged from bacteria in 6 months. About the biomaterial in general, I think that they could be our future, because we need to find new material. As I told before with Julia, we cannot think that our future for the jewelry is always and only about only with the precious stone and precious metal, because all the material are not unlimited. It means that we must start to use other material, and from food, from a fashion process, we have a lot of trash, no? A lot of was that we can use to recreate something. There are a lot of company, a lot of brand that now start to create bio leather, starting from mango or from avocado, aguacate, or maybe they want to reuse all the cotton wire or a piece of fabric that usually they can consider trash. Instead, you can use again and again and again. In my opinion, biomaterial in jewelry is the idea of biomaterial is the future, because you can, for the gemstone, you can combine, maybe now you know that we have the diamond lab grow. For sure, there is like a fight between natural diamond and lab grow. If the lab grow could be considered like a real diamond and so on, blah, blah, blah. But we have a lot of different gemstone. We have the nano ceramic, we have the other gemstone lab grow. You can use, for example, different kind of metal for the jewelry. Aluminium, for example, that could be recyclable at 100%, completely recyclable. And the biomaterial may be with the leather or bioplastic that they could be completely biodegradable. It's, in my idea, it's the best thing that we could have in jewelry field, because we have to think not only about, not all at the final product, but we have to think also to the entire process. And we have a lot of problem with the entire process, not only for the jewelry, for each product that you can find in your home. We have a lot of a problem. From food, because we have a lot of plastic around the food. For fashion, because we have the fast fashion. For jewelry, because we have mine all around the world that destroy the environment, so and so on. So maybe starting to think that we have to change a lot of things in our life could be the starting point to obtain a good future.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think we are coming to the end. I just want to give some final remarks because I want to thank you all for this very nice and engaging session. We hope it has been valuable in bringing Mexican students and the general public closer to new concepts and perspectives. Again, on behalf of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mexico, I would like to express my gratitude for your presence today. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the brands supporting Encuentro Creativo, including Essilor, Luxottica, Lavazza, Fiat, and among others. So it was my pleasure to be here today, and thank you very much, Claudia. It was really inspiring, and it gives us a lot to think, especially for the future of our planet and our the materials that we have. Um, so then it was a pleasure. I say goodbye. Bye, Claudia. Bye to everyone.
Thanks a lot, Giulia. Thanks a lot, Encuentro Creativo, and thanks to everyone for your patience and for your presence during this webinar. Thanks a lot again. If you need something, please write me. You can find me on Accademia Italiana website. So thanks again, and have a good day.